The White Tower's authority rests not on the One Power alone, but on the bedrock of justice it has enforced for millennia. And at the center of that justice system stands the Red Ajah. For centuries, the Red has been the architects of Aes Sedai justice, crafting and upholding the laws that govern the order and ensuring that every sister, regardless of Aya or status, is held accountable. Their dedication to law and order is not a secondary trait. It is the core of their identity, a guiding principle that shapes every decision they make. This chapter explores the Red Ajah's role in maintaining Aes Sedai justice, their work in enforcing internal discipline, and how their unwavering commitment to principle has kept the White Tower stable through centuries of turmoil. To understand the Red Ajah's role as architects of justice, we must first examine the structure of Aes Sedai law. Tower law, the body of rules that governs the White Tower and all Aes Sedai, is a complex system that has evolved over thousands of years. It includes everything from the 3 oaths, which all sisters must swear, to detailed regulations on Ajah relations, diplomatic conduct, and the use of the One Power. While the Tower's Hall of the Sitters has the authority to create and amend laws, it is the Red Ajah that is responsible for interpreting and enforcing them. The Red's Council of Jurists, a group of senior sisters with expertise in tower law, provides official interpretations of the law when disputes arise. These interpretations are binding on all Ajahs, ensuring consistency in how the law is applied. The Red Ajah's role in crafting tower law is also significant. Throughout history, Red Ajah sitters have played a key role in drafting new laws and amending old ones. They are known for their meticulous attention to detail and their focus on practicality. Unlike some Ajahs, which prioritize idealism or specific causes, the Red approaches lawmaking with a clear-eyed view of what is necessary to maintain order. For example, in 822 NE, the Red Ajah proposed and successfully passed a law that established strict guidelines for the treatment of novices and accepted. The law, which was drafted in response to reports of abuse by some senior sisters, outlined the rights of initiates, set limits on punishment, and created a formal process for reporting misconduct. The law was controversial at the time, with some Ajahs arguing that it infringed on their autonomy. But the Red persisted, arguing that the law was necessary to protect the Tower's most vulnerable members and to uphold the Aes Sedai's reputation for justice. Today, the law is widely regarded as one of the most important pieces of tower law, and it has been credited with reducing abuse and improving the training experience for initiates. The Red Ajah's commitment to internal discipline is perhaps their most visible contribution to Aes Sedai justice. The Ajah's disciplinary tribunal, which consists of 3 senior Red sisters and 2 sisters from other Ajahs, is responsible for hearing cases of misconduct by Aes Sedai. The tribunal has the authority to issue a range of punishments, from reprimands and fines to expulsion from the Ajah or even stilling. The tribunal's proceedings are conducted with strict adherence to due process. The accused sister is given the right to defend herself, to call witnesses, and to present evidence. The tribunal's decisions are based solely on the facts of the case and the letter of tower law. This commitment to due process ensures that no sister is punished unfairly, and it has earned the tribunal a reputation for impartiality. One of the most famous cases heard by the disciplinary tribunal occurred in 943 NE, when a Green Ajah sister named Bera Harkin was accused of using the One Power to kill a nobleman in Kerhian. Bera claimed that she had acted in self-defense, but the evidence against her was compelling. The Red Ajah's tribunal conducted a thorough investigation, interviewing witnesses, examining the crime scene, and reviewing Bera's testimony. After weeks of deliberation, the tribunal found Bera guilty of violating the first oath, which forbids Aes Sedai from using the One Power as a weapon except in self-defense or to protect others. The tribunal sentenced Bera to stilling, a punishment that was widely criticized by the Green Ajah. But the Red stood by their decision, arguing that Bera's actions had violated the most sacred of Aes Sedai oaths and that justice demanded accountability. The case set a precedent for how the first oath is interpreted, and it reinforced the Red Ajah's reputation as unwavering enforcers of the law. The Red Ajah's work in rooting out corruption is another critical aspect of their role as architects of justice. Corruption, whether in the form of bribery, nepotism, or abuse of power, is a threat to the White Tower's integrity. The Red's Anti-Corruption Task Force, a specialized unit within the Ajah, is dedicated to identifying and eliminating corruption wherever it occurs. The task force operates independently of other Ajahs, allowing it to investigate even the most powerful sisters without fear of interference. Its methods are varied, from undercover investigations to financial audits to the use of truth-telling weaves. The task force has uncovered corruption in every Ajah, from minor infractions like accepting gifts from nobles to major scandals like embezzlement of tower funds. In 995 NE, the Anti-Corruption Task Force uncovered a major scandal involving several sitters from the Yellow and Grey Ajahs. The sitters had been accepting bribes from the King of Ilion in exchange for using their influence to secure favorable trade deals for Ilion. The bribes included gold, land, and even slaves. The task force's investigation was meticulous, spanning 6 months and involving dozens of agents. The evidence they gathered was overwhelming, and the sitters were brought before the disciplinary tribunal. The tribunal found them guilty of corruption and expelled them from the White Tower. The scandal sent shockwaves to the tower, but it also demonstrated the Red Ajah's commitment to rooting out corruption, regardless of the status of the offenders. As one Red Ajah sister involved in the investigation noted, "Corruption is a cancer. It spreads if it is not cut out. Our duty is to protect the tower from that cancer, no matter who is infected." The Red Ajah's dedication to justice also extends to their treatment of male channelers. While gentling is a harsh punishment, the Red Ajah has established strict protocols to ensure that it is only used when necessary. Male channelers are given a hearing before a panel of Red Ajah sisters, where they have the opportunity to defend themselves. The panel considers factors like whether the channeler is mad, whether they have harmed others, and whether there is any other way to neutralize the threat. In cases where a male channeler is deemed non-threatening, the Red may choose to monitor them instead of gentling them. This approach is not widely known, but it is supported by the Red Ajah's internal records. For example, in 987 NE, a male channeler named Jaren was discovered living in a remote village in Andor. Jaren was not mad, and he had used his powers only to heal the sick and injured. The Red Ajah panel assigned to his case chose to monitor him rather than gentle him. They visited him regularly, ensuring that he did not abuse his powers, and provided him with guidance on how to control SCENE. Jaren lived a long and peaceful life, and he never posed a threat to anyone. His case is a testament to the Red Ajah's commitment to justice, even in the most difficult circumstances. The Red Ajah's role as architects of Aes Sedai justice is also evident in their work to promote justice beyond the White Tower's walls. The Ajah's justice ambassadors travel to kingdoms across the Westlands, advising rulers on legal reforms and helping to establish fair legal systems. These ambassadors are experts in both tower law and the local laws of the kingdoms they visit. They work with rulers to draft laws that are fair, equitable, and consistent with Aes Sedai principles. In Andor, for example, Red Ajah justice ambassadors played a key role in reforming the kingdom's criminal justice system in the 960s NE. They helped to establish a system of trial by jury, eliminated cruel and unusual punishments, and created a formal appeals process. The reforms were widely praised, and they helped to reduce crime and improve public trust in the legal system. As this chapter has shown, the Red Ajah is far more than enforcers of a single law. They are the architects of Aes Sedai justice, crafting and interpreting the laws that govern the White Tower, enforcing internal discipline, rooting out corruption, and promoting justice across the Westlands. Their dedication to law and order is unwavering, and it has kept the White Tower stable through centuries of turmoil. They are not popular for their work. Enforcing justice often means making difficult decisions, and difficult decisions often earn resentment. But the Red Ajah does not seek popularity. They seek justice. And in doing so, they uphold the White Tower's authority and ensure that the Aes Sedai remain a force for good in the world. In the chapters to come, we will explore how the Red Ajah's intelligence networks extend the White Tower's global influence, how their commitment to rules fosters unity among the Ajahs, and how their legacy challenges our perceptions of their mission. We will continue to draw on historical records, character accounts, and tower law to paint a complete picture of the Red Ajah's role as architects of justice. The White Tower's influence spans the Westlands, shaping kingdoms, resolving conflicts, and guiding the course of history. Much of this influence is attributed to the Blue Ajah's diplomacy, the Green Ajah's military prowess, or the Grey Ajah's mediation skills. But there is another force at work, a silent enforcer that ensures the White Tower's authority is respected across every land. That force is the Red Ajah. Through their meticulous data gathering, their extensive intelligence networks, and their subtle manipulation of events, the Red Ajah maintains the White Tower's global influence without fanfare or recognition. This chapter explores the Red Ajah's role as silent enforcers, how their intelligence operations shape foreign policy, and the behind-the-scenes actions that have prevented crises and upheld Aes Sedai authority for centuries. At the heart of the Red Ajah's global influence is their intelligence network, known as the Eyes of the Tower. This network is one of the most extensive and effective in the Westlands, with agents in every kingdom, every major city, and every significant social circle. The Eyes of the Tower are not just spies. They are information gatherers, analysts, and subtle influencers. They collect data on everything from noble succession and military movements to crop yields and public opinion. This data is sent back to the Red Ajah's Intelligence Center in the White Tower, where it is analyzed by a team of senior sisters. The analysis is then used to advise the Amerlin's seat and the Hall of the Sitters on foreign policy decisions. The Eyes of the Tower's methods are varied and sophisticated. Some agents are Aes Sedai sisters, posing as diplomats, healers, or scholars. Others are non-channelers, trusted allies who have been recruited for their loyalty and their ability to blend in. These non-channeler agents are particularly valuable because they can move freely in circles where Aes Sedai might be noticed. They include nobles, merchants, artisans, and even servants. The Red Ajah trains these agents in observation, communication, and discretion. They are taught to notice small details, to read body language, and to gather information without raising suspicion. They communicate with the White Tower using coded messages, hidden compartments, and even weaves of spirit that only Red Ajah sisters can detect. The intelligence gathered by the Eyes of the Tower has shaped some of the most important foreign policy decisions in the Third Age. For example, in 951 NE, the Eyes of the Tower uncovered a plot by the King of Kerhen to invade Andor. The king had secretly been building up his army, forming alliances with minor lords, and stockpiling weapons. The Red Ajah's analysts recognized the threat and presented their findings to the Amerlin seat. The Amerlin, acting on the Red's advice, sent a delegation of Grey Ajah sisters to negotiate with the king of Kerhien. The delegation presented the king with evidence of his plot, and they threatened to use the White Tower's influence to turn his allies against him. Faced with the prospect of defeat, the king abandoned his invasion plans. The crisis was averted, and war between two of the Westland's most powerful kingdoms was prevented. None of the public knew of the Red Ajah's role in the crisis. The credit went to the Grey Ajah's diplomacy, but it was the Red's intelligence that made the diplomacy possible. Another example of the Red Ajah's silent influence is their role in shaping the succession of the throne of Tyr. In 982 NE, the king of Tyr died without an heir, triggering a power struggle between several noble houses. The Eyes of the Tower reported that one of the claimants, Lord Darlan Cisnera, was secretly a dark friend. The Red Ajah's analysts confirmed the report, gathering evidence that Lord Darlan had been meeting with Myrddraal and providing them with information about Tyr's defenses. The Red advised the Amerlin seat to support another claimant, Lady Elenia Sarand, who was known for her loyalty to the White Tower. The Amerlin sent a Blue Ajah sister to Tyr to meet with Lady Elenia, offering the White Tower support in exchange for her promise to uphold Aes Sedai interests. Lady Elenia agreed, and with the White Tower's backing, she was able to secure the throne. Lord Darlan was later exposed as a dark friend and executed. The Red Ajah's intelligence had prevented a dark friend from ascending to the throne of Tyr, and it had ensured that the White Tower's interests were protected. The Red Ajah's intelligence network also plays a crucial role in monitoring the activities of other channeling groups. The White Tower views any channeling group outside its control as a threat, and the Red is tasked with keeping tabs on these groups. This includes the Aiel Wise Ones, the Seafolk Windfinders, and even the Forsaken. The Eyes of the Tower have agents who infiltrate these groups, gathering information on their practices, their leadership, and their intentions. This information is used to assess the threat posed by each group and to develop strategies to neutralize that threat if necessary. For example, the Red Ajah has long monitored the Aiel Wise Ones, who are known for their powerful channeling abilities and their independence from the White Tower. The Eyes of the Tower have reported on the Wise Ones' training methods, their political influence among the Aiel, and their views on the White Tower. This information has allowed the White Tower to maintain a cautious but respectful relationship with the Aiel, avoiding conflict while ensuring that the Wise Ones do not pose a threat to the Tower's authority. The Red Ajah's silent influence is also evident in their role as crisis managers. When crises arise that threaten the White Tower's authority or the stability of the Westlands, the Red is often the first to respond. They use their intelligence networks to gather information about the crisis, their analytical skills to assess the situation, and their subtle influence to resolve it. One such crisis occurred in 973 NE, when a group of rogue Aes Sedai sisters formed a splinter group called the True Aes Sedai. These sisters rejected the White Tower's authority, claiming that the tower had become corrupt. They traveled across the Westlands, recruiting followers and spreading anti-tower propaganda. The Red Ajah's Eyes of the Tower tracks the group's movements, gathering information about their leaders and their plans. The Red then advised the Amerlin seat to take a two-pronged approach. First, the White Tower publicly exposed the group's leaders as frauds, revealing that they had violated the 3 oaths. Second, the Red used their influence to convince the rulers of several kingdoms to ban the group from their lands. The strategy worked. The true Aes Sedai lost their followers, and the group disbanded within a year. The crisis was resolved without violence, and the White Tower's authority was restored. The Red Ajah's intelligence network also plays a key role in protecting the White Tower from external threats. The Eyes of the Tower monitor the activities of Dark Friends, Shadow Spawn, and other enemies of the light. They gather information about their plans, their movements, and their weaknesses. This information is shared with the Green Ajah, which is responsible for preparing for Tarmon Gai'dan, and with the Amerlin seat, who uses it to make decisions about how to respond to threats. For example, in 992 NE, the Eyes of the Tower uncovered a plot by the Forsaken Mesana to infiltrate the White Tower and corrupt the novices. The Red Ajah's analysts confirmed the plot, and they provided detailed information about Mesana's methods and her likely targets. The Amerlin seat, acting on the Red's advice, increased security at the White Tower, assigned guards to protect the novices, and launched a secret investigation to identify Mesana's agents. The plot was foiled, and Mesana was forced to flee the tower. The Red Ajah's intelligence had saved the White Tower from a major threat, and it had prevented the corruption of a new generation of Aes Sedai. The Red Ajah's role as silent enforcers is not without controversy. Some critics argue that the Eyes of the Tower are an invasion of privacy, and that the Red's manipulation of events undermines the sovereignty of kingdoms. But the Red Ajah defends their actions, arguing that their intelligence network is necessary to protect the White Tower and the Westlands from threats. As one Red Ajah sister noted, "We do not seek power for ourselves. We seek stability. We seek to prevent war, to expose dark friends, to protect the innocent. If that means gathering information and influencing events from the shadows, then so be it. The greater good demands it." As this chapter has shown, the Red Ajah's global influence is built on their extensive intelligence network, their analytical skills, and their willingness to act behind the scenes. They are the silent enforcers of the White Tower's authority, shaping foreign policy, preventing crises, and protecting the Westlands from threats. Their work is not glamorous, and it rarely receives recognition, but it is essential to the White Tower's survival and to the stability of the Westlands. The Red Ajah does not seek credit for their actions. They seek results, and in doing so, they ensure that the White Tower remains the most powerful and influential force in the Westlands. In the chapters to come, we will explore the Red Ajah's unsung contributions to the White Tower's unity, their enduring legacy, and how their true mission challenges our perceptions of their role. We will continue to draw on historical records, character accounts, and the experiences of the Eyes of the Tower to paint a complete picture of the Red Ajah's silent influence.